Hello there, I'm Nadia Azmi and this is Nightline. Here are the top stories. Malaysia never diplomatically recognized the existence of Israel. And main player in the illegal extraction of bauxite is a Datuk Seri. Good morning. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim reiterated that Malaysia remains consistent in its stance on the issue of Israel and Palestine, emphasizing that Putrajaya has never diplomatically recognized the existence of the State of Israel. The Prime Minister stressed that accusations of him recognizing Israel are baseless and a deliberate slander by certain parties for narrow political gain. Speaking to the Malaysian media covering the 2024 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC Economic Leaders Week AELW in Lima, Peru, which concluded on Saturday, Anwar emphasized that Malaysia has neither sent embassy officials nor established diplomatic relations with Israel as a protest against the Zionist oppression of the Palestinian people. The country also does not permit them to engage in trade or official activities within Malaysia. He also stated that Malaysia remains committed in supporting the Palestinian people's struggle and has consistently voiced its opposition to the occupation and atrocities committed by the Zionist regime at various international forums. During the recent extraordinary Arab-Islamic summit in Riyadh, the Prime Minister also proposed that Israel be expelled from the United Nations. Malaysia also was the only country to raise the issue of oppression against Palestine at the APEC summit in Peru, despite the forum's primary focus on economic and trade matters.
Dia orang tanya, apakah Israel wujud? Ya. Apakah ada state of Israel? Yes. Apakah kamu iktiraf? No. Kerana dia wujud. Apa yang itu pun tak ada mahu Anwar dah langgar, dah khianat, dah jadi alat Israel. Ini apa? Politik apa macam ini? Perbodohkan rakyat, menipu, memfitnah atas nama Islam. Ini yang sebut penunggang-penunggang agama yang tak gerti nak ulas.
Anwar also expressed hope that his explanation would clear up any confusion among the public and urged all parties to avoid the politics of slander, which only serves to divide society. The issue arose following Anwar's recent interview with CNN, which went viral after the edited interview clip, now circulating on social media, created a false impression that the government acknowledged Israel's existence and its right to self-defense. The Prime Minister's maiden official visit to Peru has strengthened bilateral relations and generated potential exports with 1.24 billion ringgit. Anwar stated that Peruvian companies had shown strong interest in Malaysian products, including steel and glass-based building materials, medical equipment, palm oil, chemicals, as well as food and beverage products.
7 syarikat pembuatan Peru dikenal pasti Maida teroka peluang pelaburan di Malaysia. Sektor pemrosesan makanan, perkhidmatan logistik bersepadu dan pharmaceutical.
Prior to this, the Prime Minister met with 22 business leaders representing 17 Peruvian companies from various industries, including pharmaceuticals, medical equipment and products, building materials, chemical-based products, as well as health foods and consumer goods. To date, companies from the country have imported goods worth over 435 million ringgit from Malaysia. Total trade between Malaysia and Peru has seen impressive growth, amounting to 1.16 billion ringgit from January to July this year, an increase of 36.3% compared to 847.7 million ringgit during the same period in 2023. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister highlighted that APEC leaders must take bolder action to spearhead global economic cooperation and elevate the platform to become the gold standard in global governance. Speaking at the APEC leaders' informal dialogue with guests in Lima on Friday, Anwar said that the economic cooperation body must be at the forefront of building an inclusive, sustainable and fair economy. Anwar stated that there is a need for a fundamental shift in APEC's approach to economic cooperation, one that enables all economies, regardless of size, to thrive amid rapid global disruptions from economic shocks to climate challenges. He also called for the formation of new alliances with ASEAN, the African Union, BRICS and cross-border digital networks to strengthen a global resilience. Anwar, who's also finance minister, said that by working in unison, these alliances have the opportunity to deliver an inclusive vision for economic growth that empowers communities across continents. He also noted that every child lacking access to digital learning, every entrepreneur hindered by financial barriers, and every family affected by environmental degradation represents a lost opportunity for growth and stability.
Think about a joint initiative where APEC partners with the Pacific Alliance to unlock the climate-smart agriculture, bringing climate resilience to our smallest farmers. Our deeper engagement with platforms such as the OECD, to launch collaborative programs for affordable digital inclusion, not only bridging the digital divide, but sparking new opportunities in rural communities and urban centers alike.
APEC is an intergovernmental forum for 21 member economies in the Pacific Rim, promoting free trade across the Asia-Pacific region, which accounts for over 60% of the global economy. Malaysia is one of its 12 founding members. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC has revealed that the main player in the illegal extraction of bauxite in Pahang is a Datuk Seri. Its Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said investigations also found that no permits were issued to extract and transport the bauxite. Azam said the MACC is also in the process of seizing mineral resources believed to contain bauxite discovered during Friday's raid.
Kes ini kita dalam peringkat untuk menyita boksit yang dibawa ke Terengganu. Setakat tak silap saya semalam 3 orang telah ditahan. 1 orang tu adalah berpangkat Datuk Seri yang dikatakan yang sebagai main players dalam membawa boksit daripada Pahang ke Terengganu.
The graft buster is taking action under the MACC Act, including freezing the accounts of companies involved. When asked whether public officials were involved, Azam explained that the matter is still under investigation. On Thursday, the MACC arrested 3 people, including a Pahang government official, in a crackdown on the illegal extraction of bauxite in the state. The official, who is attached to a state government agency, is believed to have accepted bribes to protect the illegal extraction of minerals. The MACC also raided a store in Jabor, Terengganu, where the minerals were kept. All suspects aged between 30 and 50 have been remanded for 6 days until November 19 for investigations under Section 16 of the MACC Act 2009. Azam was met by reporters after officiating the MACC shooting program with members of the media in Kajang, Selangor earlier on Saturday. In another development, Azam confirmed that he had received a letter from a Sabah assemblyman regarding allegations of corruption linked to a project license approvals. He explained that the letter included a request for immunity under the Whistleblower Protection Act 2010 related to the corruption case that the individual intends to expose.
Memang dia ada hantar surat kepada saya sebelum peguam berkenaan berjumpa dengan pegawai kanan saya seperti saya maklumkan, dan dari sudut SPRM, sebab itu saya telah arahkan 2 pegawai kanan saya untuk berjumpa peguam berkenaan bagi berbincang secara sulit.
However, he said the whistleblower has yet to file an official report with the MACC. When asked about the applicability of the whistleblower protection in the case, Azam clarified that the Act would not shield individuals who are also complicit in the reported misconduct. It was recently reported a whistleblower in the case involving video recordings allegedly showing an assemblyman discussing bribes had met with MACC officials on October 30th. Kuala Lumpur City Hall must ensure that all land acquisitions for project developments meet strict criteria to avoid future complications. Citing the challenges at Pasar Datuk Kramat as an example, Titiwangsa Member Parliament Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said it is crucial that the vetting process of developers be done thoroughly before the approval of land acquisitions to safeguard the livelihoods of affected communities. Johari, who is also the Plantation and Commodities Minister, stated that the criteria must include a solid company background, strong financial standing and a clear plan for managing the relocation of traders in the area. He also noted that Pasar Datuk Kramat has been entangled in a 6-year impasse due to the previous developer's failure to meet financial obligations or complete the redevelopment project.
Sebab bila kita bagi itu yang kita depan ni 6 tahun lebih dia tak boleh buat apa. Jadi bila dia tak boleh buat apa, jadi bila ada kerosakan dia tak betul kan. Nak suruh dia fikir, dia cakap dia bukan tanah dia lagi. Jadi masalah. Jadi kita dah selesaikan benda ni kita.
Johari said this to reporters after the Santun Madani program with Kampung Datuk Kramat residents on Saturday. He added that while there are currently no redevelopment plans for Pasar Datuk Kramat, any future redevelopment should not come at the expense of the traders who have been operating there for decades. Police have recorded statements from 19 individuals to assist the investigation into the drowning of 3 Public Works Department or JKR officers during a water rafting activity in Sungai Jahang, Gopeng on Friday. Kampar District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Nazri Daud said all the individuals whose statements were recorded were part of 22 participants in the team building program as well as the water sports operator representatives. Nazri said authorities expect to call several more individuals to complete the investigation. He added that the victims' bodies were claimed by their families from the Kampar Hospital Forensic Unit early on Saturday morning. The post-mortem results determined that the cause of death for all victims was asphyxia secondary to drowning, and the case has been classified as sudden death. Earlier on Saturday, the Kampar District Disaster Management Committee ordered an immediate suspension of all recreational and outdoor water sports activities involving rivers. In the incident on Friday evening, 3 JKR officers drowned while water rafting in Sungai Jahang. The victims are identified as Suhaili Mat Saad, age 47, a district engineer at Seberang Perai Tengah, Pulau Pinang; Muhammad Khairul Hakim Hamidi, age 37, a senior assistant engineer at Langkawi JKR Kedah; and Muhammad Ikram Abdul Bari, age 29, a customer service officer at Langkawi JKR. The incident was believed to have been triggered by continuous rain, which led to a sudden rise in the river's water level, causing a boat carrying 6 passengers and a guide to capsize. A suspected thief died after injuring his hand during a burglary at a home in Kluang, Johor on Friday night. 2 of his accomplices were also arrested at the scene of the crime, which occurred at Jalan Laksamana, Sunrise Park at 7:12 p.m. Kluang Deputy District Police Chief Superintendent Nik Muhammad Azmi Hussein said the deceased was one of 4 suspects, aged 29 to 48, who broke into the house. He added that authorities were called to the scene after receiving a distress call and found the body as well as the 2 other suspects. The police are investigating the deceased suspect's cause of death. It is believed that the man might have severed a main vein while attempting to enter the home or flee the crime scene. Meanwhile, the 2 detained suspects were brought to the Batu Pahat Magistrates Court on Saturday and remanded for 6 days until this Thursday. Police are now searching for another suspect, a 39-year-old man from Bachok, Kelantan, who is still at large. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for housebreaking. In today's fast-evolving market, restaurants and eateries in Malaysia face various challenges in keeping their businesses running while satisfying customers' appetites. One way they can address these challenges is by gaining recognition, which can also help enhance the country's reputation through food tourism. Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Asfar has the report.
Malaysia's rich culinary heritage thrives through the resilience of its local eateries, even in challenging times. Gaining recognition can also help to support and highlight the local restaurant and food service industry, inviting the world to explore the unique flavors that Malaysia has to offer.
For Anthony Kuhn, the owner of Sin Q Yi Shin Ki Beef Noodles, having his family-run restaurant featured in the Michelin Guide's 2025 Beef Gourmand list of places serving value-for-money meals has significantly boosted his business by attracting more customers. As a third-generation chef who took over the restaurant from his father, the recognition has also motivated him to work even harder to maintain the authenticity of his family's recipe and the quality of the dishes served at the establishment.
Definitely makes a huge impact on me. That will thrive my business, and I hope to maintain it as what it is, the flavor that we will be able to maintain, and hopefully it remains the same from time to time. We serve quantity basis and try to make the margin as low as possible so that everyone can try our beef noodles.
As for Darren Teo, a chef from Dewakan, one of Malaysia's top fine dining restaurants, he believes that eateries in Malaysia each have their own unique identity through the culinary offerings, which can be showcased to the rest of the world.
I don't think it's just about the food scene. I think it's about looking at Malaysia as a destination in general. I mean, we have one of the most beautiful beaches, forests, we have beautiful people, beautiful culture. You come to a place like where we live and you see a myriad of people with myriads of languages being spoken on the street, and with that, food is a reflection of the culture, right?
Locals as well as foreign tourists also consider both a strong social media presence and the virality factor equally important for eateries to gain an edge, especially in this digital era.
I would say yes. Yes.
Can you elaborate why or why not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, but everybody nowadays with the social media, everybody want to know before they go to a certain place. So with the social media, I think it's a good platform for the new customer. New customer to choose which place to go.
Usually I watch from internet the reviews and suggestions, and that makes the decision to eat. So where to try to find a restaurant.
Offering high-quality food that resonates with a wide audience can not only ensure long-term success for businesses, but also contribute to Malaysia's growing reputation as a top food destination, elevating its culinary scene on the world stage. I'm Nadia Asfar for Nightline TV3.
Junhao pulls off another sensational upset. Actions from the 2024 Kumamoto Masters after this breather.
Mula-mula tak boleh terima lah. Sebab dia sebabkan jatuh pokok je, kita pergi hospital sakit kanser. Pernah lah terputus makanan-makanan sebab terlampau banyak sangat kos. Kos rawatan tu banyak kos lah. Kadang naik kereta kalau sewa kereta orang, kereta pun 200 kalau sewa.
Ketikan lensa dari dasar laut menterjemah keindahan aquamarine.
Dalam air ni Kak Lin memang terlampau fokus. Inspirasi tu datang bila kita tengok binatang kat dalam air. Kehidupan berbeza, boleh hidup bersama. Apakah kita?
Hari ni dia nak masak kuih sopang dengan air jando pulang. Selamat mencuba.
Aku masih muda. Jangan lupa saksikan saya dalam Nona di TV3.
Rakit ni kita boleh kata pengangkutan tradisional dan tidak semua rakyat Malaysia ada pengalaman berakit.
Sungai ni ibaratkan nyawa saya lah. Pada orang kampung ni dapat tengok sungai pun hilang sekali masalah.
Kita cuma tahu cara abah kita dulu, cara orang kampung dulu kan.
Saya tahu, saya memang takkan dapat mengeluarkan babaka yang standing dengan negara-negara luar lah. Tapi saya nakkan lembu yang lahir dekat sini ni antibody dia dah sesuai dekat Malaysia.
Lebih segar, lebih dinamik. Laporan komprehensif menghidupkan pagi anda.
Buletin pagi dengan waktu yang baharu. 9.30 pagi setiap hari bermula 1 November.
Sports now. Badminton, the 2024 Kumamoto Masters. National men's singles shuttler Leong Junhao pulled off a sensational upset on Saturday, defeating world number 6 Jonathan Christie of Indonesia in the last 4 clash to book his spot in the final. The world number 31 staged a remarkable comeback, rallying from 10-17 down in the deciding game to claim a thrilling 10-21, 21-18, 22-20 victory in a 76-minute semi-final clash. The Malaysian shuttler will face China's Asian Games champion Li Shifeng in his maiden Super 500 final on Sunday. However, it was the end of the road for two other Malaysian representatives. Men's doubles pair Nur Muhammad Azrin Ayub and Tan Hui Kiong's gallant run were cut short in the semis as the world number 40 duo struggled against Japan's world number 9 pair Takuro Hoki Yugo Kobayashi, succumbing 12-21, 15-21 in just 33 minutes. Sharing the same fate were mixed doubles Goh Sun Huat, Siobhan Jenny Lai. Despite claiming the first set, the married couple lost 21-18, 20-22, 14-21 to Thailand's new partnership Dechapol Puavaranukro Supisara Payasampran in a 6-4-minute clash. The 2024 Ace Malaysia Squash Cup now. National women's squash star S. Siva Sanggari booked her place in the women's final with a dominant straight games win over world number 28 Georgia Adderley of Scotland on Saturday. The world number 9 who won the London Classic in April won 11-3, 11-8, 11-6 in 31 minutes. The Asian champion will now face world number 10 Amina Orfi of Egypt in the final for the trophy. Joining her was men's national squash player Ian Yao Eng, who defeated Abe Singh 11-5, 11-4, 7-11, 11-4. The world number 14 is set to face a torrid test in the final as he will be up against top seed Yusuf Soliman of Egypt. However, Rachel Arnold's hope of clinching the title was dashed in the semis as she was defeated by 10th seed Egyptian Amina Orfi 10-12, 9-11, 6-11. On to tennis, the 2024 NATO ATP Finals. Casper Ruud moved into the semi-finals after he defeated Audrey Rublev on Friday, ending the 9th seed's hopes of going any further in the end-of-year tournament. The Norwegian overcame the Russian 6-4, 5-7, 6-2, hitting 34 winners and ending Rublev's run in an hour and 45 minutes. The world number 7 is set to face world number 1 Jannik Sinner in the last 4 on Sunday. Meanwhile, Carlos Alcaraz Garcia stumbled before Alexander Zverev in a spectacular match that eliminated him from the ATP Finals. Despite putting up a strong fight, the Spaniard could not outshine the German, losing 6-7, 4-6 to hand Zverev a spot in the semi-final as the John Newcombe group leader. Next up, Zverev will take on American Taylor Fritz on Saturday for a place in the final. On to MotoGP 2024 Solidarity Barcelona Grand Prix. Ducati's Francesco Bagnaia extended the title race into the final day of the season when the reigning champion won the sprint on Saturday, while championship leader Jorge Martin finished third. Martin had given Bagnaia a chase for several laps, but Ducati's Enea Bastianini made a clean overtake on the final lap, which forced the Pramac Racing rider to settle for third. Martin held a 24-point lead going into the final Grand Prix, but his advantage was cut to 19 points ahead of Sunday's race. As a result, the championship will now be decided in the final race. Israeli kills more Lebanon medics. The details when Nightline returns.
Rakit ni kita boleh kata pengangkutan tradisional dan tidak semua rakyat Malaysia ada pengalaman berakit.
Sungai ni ibaratkan nyawa saya lah. Pada orang kampung ni dapat tengok sungai pun hilang sekali masalah.
Kita cuma tahu cara abah kita dulu, cara orang kampung dulu kan.
Saya tahu, saya memang takkan dapat mengeluarkan babak yang standing dengan negara-negara luar lah. Tapi saya nakkan lembu yang lahir dekat sini ni antibody dia dah sesuai dekat Malaysia.
Jangan kerana ego, salah pun tak nampak.
Kalau ego, memang tak ke mana.
Ada sotong cumit, sotong kurita.
Sedapnya sotong. Macam-macam menu sotong boleh kita masak.
Muflis atau bankrupt, apa puncanya?
Mungkin gagal kawal perbelanjaan, ikuti kupasannya Rabu ini.
Pasangan bercerai boleh rujuk kembali.
Kena rujuk sendiri ataupun kena daftar semula?
Jangan perlekehkan pasangan.
Seharusnya kita saling memberikan sokongan.
Semuanya menarik di WHI TV3
Dan stream sekarang ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Mula-mula tak boleh terimalah. Sebab dia sebabkan jatuh pokok je, kita pergi hospital sakai kanser. Pernahlah terputus makanan-makanan sebab terlampau banyak sangat kos. Kos rawatan tu banyak kos lah. Kadang naik kereta kalau sewa kereta orang, kereta pun 200 kalau sewa.
Ketikan lensa dari dasar laut menterjemah keindahan aquamarine.
Dalam air ni Kak Lin memang terlampau fokus. Inspirasi tu datang bila kita tengok binatang kat dalam air. Kehidupan berbeza, boleh hidup bersama. Apakah kita?
Hari ni dia nak masak kuih sopang dengan air jando pulang. Selamat mencuba!
40 masih muda. Jangan lupa saksikan saya dalam Nona di TV3.
Welcome back. Onto the foreign front. The Zionist regime's relentless attacks on Lebanon showed no signs of abating, with a wave of airstrikes targeting villages in the southern part of the country on Saturday. In these attacks, a medic was killed in the town of Bort Rahal in the Tyre district, while strikes on an emergency response team in the southern town of Kfar Bitnit killed one medic, injured 4 others, and left 2 medics missing. Authorities reported that the attacks followed evacuation orders issued by the army earlier in the day for at least 14 buildings. The Zionist forces also launched about 9 airstrikes on the Hezbollah-controlled southern suburbs of Beirut, but no casualties have been reported so far. Earlier, Lebanon's health ministry stated that at least 59 people were killed and 182 others wounded in Israeli attacks across the country over the past 24 hours, bringing the total death toll to at least 3,445. Meanwhile, the Zionist regime's siege of northern Gaza continued as the territory's health ministry reported that 28 Palestinians were killed and 120 injured in the past day. According to Wafa news agency, the Zionist invaders killed 4 civilians and wounded several others in its shelling of Al-Karama neighborhood north of Gaza City. It reported that Israeli military also killed the other 2 and wounded others after bombing a house in the neighborhood of Zaytun, southeast of the city. The agency added that the Zionist forces shot a young man dead as he tried to flee from northern Gaza to the center of the blockaded enclave. In southern Gaza, rescue workers recovered the bodies of 4 civilians killed by Israeli strikes in different areas of Rafah. To date, the death toll in Gaza has risen to at least 43,764 Palestinians, with over 103,480 injured. The Philippines on Saturday has ordered the evacuation of hundreds of thousands of people and cancelled dozens of flights as a potentially catastrophic typhoon Man-yi, the 6th storm in a month, approaches the archipelago. According to authorities, more than 650,000 people have fled their homes ahead of the super typhoon, which is expected to make landfall later Saturday or early Sunday. The state weather agency Pagasa stated that Typhoon Man-yi, with wind gusts of up to 240 kilometers per hour, is on track to hit the sparsely populated island province of Catanduanes as a super typhoon or at near peak intensity. It further warned of a potentially catastrophic and life-threatening situation for the northeastern Bicol region as the super typhoon intensifies. The agency also noted that seas up to 14 meters high are expected around Catanduanes, while more than 7.6 million people are at risk from storm surges ranging from 1 to 3 meters. In India, 10 newborn babies were killed and 17 others left injured after a fire swept through a neonatal intensive care unit in northern part of the country late on Friday. According to officials, the blaze broke out at the Maharani Lasimbai Medical College in Jhansi district, about 285 kilometers southwest of Lucknow, the capital of Uttar Pradesh state. Firefighters were immediately deployed to the scene, and upon arrival, the ward where 55 infants were being treated was engulfed in flames and plumes of smoke. 45 babies were rescued, with 17 of the injured were receiving treatment in different wings and some private hospitals. Authorities said 7 of the deceased infants have been identified, while the authorities were working to identify the remaining 3. The cause of the fire remains unknown. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as Swiss free skiing star Fabian Bosch took centre stage against the stunning backdrop of the Schilthorn in the Bernese Alps, blending athletic precision with a playful spirit and a daring display of skill and creativity. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and stay safe.